Hi guys, today I have something very long and very complicated that I'd love to explain to you. Today, I'll be explaining The Kids in the Hall Iceberg. Over the months, the show has grown to be one of my favorites of all time, so I decided to dig deep into the history and other projects the members appeared in. I know it might seem a little crazy right now, but if you stick around, I think you'll learn a lot about this late 80s to mid 90s sketch comedy troupe. This Iceberg was made by me, and all research was done, and the script was entirely written by me, so let's jump into this. The show. If you haven't heard of it, go watch all 6 seasons, the movie, the mini-series, and the documentary real quick. Then, come back to this video. Probably the best sketch comedy show ever made, in my very unbiased opinion. Every episode is consistently funny, and I can think of only a couple of sketches that don't measure up to the rest. Some of my favorites are The Sarcastic Guy from Season 1, Episode 2, Sex Girl Patrol from Season 4, Episode 8, Sizzler and Sizzler from Season 2, Episode 3, and Got Ya from Season 5, Episode 8. The first 3 seasons aired consecutively on the CBC and HBO, CBC in Canada, HBO in America, but by the 4th season it switched networks in the US to CBS, and the 6th season was distributed by Amazon and then quickly canceled by it. The movie. Kids in the Hall Brain Candy was made in 1996 after the show wrapped. Dave was off shooting news radio and then wrangled back into doing the movie after previously thinking it wouldn't get made, but it obviously did. By this point, everyone hated each other and the movie bombed at the box office because Paramount wouldn't market it over a character in the movie called Cancer Boy. This one eventually grew into being a cult classic, like most of the things the kids have done. The revival. The show, having originally aired 5 seasons from 1989 to 1995, was revived by Amazon in 2022. As previously mentioned before, Amazon canceled it after 1 additional season, on the same quality as the original show, the only difference being that it wasn't shot in front of an audience, and so has no studio laughing. Everything was shot on film because of COVID and all that. Some of my favorite sketches from this season include Much Too Much from Episode 8, Doomsday DJ from Episode 3, and The Baby from Episode 6. News Radio. News Radio was a sitcom that Dave Foley made after the original Kids in the Hall show ended. He played Dave Nelson, manager of New York radio station WNYX, known for being a higher quality sitcom amongst the double-decker shit sandwiches sitcoms that NBC was playing at the time. That's not my quote, that's series creator Paul Simms. The scheduling director at the time hated it and was constantly trying to get it canceled. He had no part in that though. In 1998, the other leading male actor, Phil Hartman, was murdered. The show went on for another season and eventually ended in 1999. I'm adding this as an addendum. Kevin was in the episode Stupid Holiday Charity Talent Show in Season 4. Lilo and Stitch. After the Kids in the Hall show ended, Kevin McDonald wanted to be a pretty prolific voice actor. One of his most famous roles was Pleakley in the Disney movie Lilo and Stitch, which was released in 2002. He went on to reprise this role in 3 different sequels and a TV show based on it. And fun fact, all 5 kids appeared in the Season 1 episode Fibber. Invader Zim. Another Kevin role, playing Tallest Purple. This Nickelodeon show was highly successful but canceled early due to production costs, only lasting 27 episodes from 2001 to 2002. Eventually single-handedly brought Hot Topic into being a household name due to the amount of merchandise they produced for it. Had a revival movie in 2019, which Kevin was also in. Even today, if you walk into a Hot Topic, you will be greeted with the Gurr and the dog costume mascot. Superstore. Another NBC sitcom, this time starring Mark McKinney as store manager Glenn. Lasted 6 seasons and was pretty successful and didn't have any controversies or horrible tragedies attached to it like News Radio did. Another addendum. Dave was in the episode Lowell Anderson in the 6th season. I thought I should add these because I want to be comprehensive. Gilmore Girls. Probably shouldn't count for this tier as only 2 episodes has one of them in it, but I'm counting it anyway. Bruce McCullough was in 2 episodes of this highly successful WB series, playing night manager of Lorelei's Inn, Tobin, in Happy Birthday Baby in the 3rd season, and the nanny and the professor in the 4th. Dan vs. Another cartoon, this time aired on the Hub. Dave played a main character, the best friend to the titular Dan, Chris. More of a cult classic than a hit, surprise surprise. It lasted 3 seasons but still has a pretty dedicated fan base. That 70s Show. Kevin played recurring character Pastor Dave throughout 3 seasons of this popular Fox sitcom. Well, once popular, now known for having a convicted rapist in the cast, and the cast itself being full of Scientologists, but let's just ignore that. A Bug's Life. Dave's most remembered starring role in the movie, and he's an ant in it. More specifically, he's Flick, a worker ant who wants to save his colony from a bunch of grasshoppers. More known for the rivalry between Pixar and DreamWorks, when DreamWorks released a very similar movie to Bug's Life in the same year called Ants. Which is better? I definitely think of Bug's Life, but I'm biased, so. Hannibal. NBC show known for the gay relationship between Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham. Also known for being very violent for a network TV show. Scott Thompson played crime scene investigator Jimmy Price throughout all 3 seasons. Fargo. A recent one for Dave. He played doomed lawyer Danish Graves in the 5th season of FX's Fargo. Nominated for 15 Primetime Emmys this year. Wow! Some very good television. Sky High, a Disney movie usually thought to be a Disney Channel original movie, but it was in theaters, about children of superheroes. Both Dave and Kevin appeared in this one as Mr. Boy and Professor Medulla. This movie was a staple of my childhood. It was constantly on, and maybe that's the reason that I love The Kid in the Hall so much. I don't know. Fallout New Vegas, a video game which features you playing a character in a world that is devastated after a nuclear war. I hope this description is right because I honestly don't know anything about games. But Dave plays Yes Man, a robot programmed to follow your every command, no matter how stupid it is. The Simpsons, the longest running animated show of all time. Scott plays Grady, a character which appeared in 4 different seasons.
You loser! You pig! You piece of pork! What do you got in there? Got some bacon curing pig? I'm the big pig! I'm the big pig! Loser! Pig!
Why didn't you do something? Thought you knew him.
The Pilot. The original pilot was made for the CBC and HBO back in 1988, before the rest of the series. Was notoriously hard to find for many years until it was released on DVD back in 2007. It is 40 minutes long compared to the show's 20-minute long episodes. Same Guys, New Dresses, a documentary made in 2001, directed by Dave, showcasing the new tour they were putting on. Not a ton of sketches featured on it, mostly behind-the-scenes footage. Tour of Duty. Unlike the previous documentary, this one is only sketches and no behind-the-scenes footage. Overall, pretty good, and it's a joy to see these sketches live on stage. Death Comes to Town, a miniseries made in 2010 following the events in a small town named Shuckton after their attempt to host the 2028 Olympic Games goes horribly wrong. Not seen by a ton of people on original release on the CBC or after on IFC. Strange to newcomers, so if you haven't seen any Kids in the Hall, probably don't start with this. If you're already a fan though, it's pretty damn good, isn't it? Kids in the Hall Comedy Punks, a documentary made about them released back in 2022 before the 6th season premiered on Amazon. Nicely made and has a lot of unseen footage and new anecdotes. Comedy Central acquired the distribution rights in the mid-90s and proceeded to marathon the original show, creating more fans than there were during the original run. If you want to watch the show on Comedy Central now though, don't bother, it won't be on. Saturday Night Live. Right after the Kids in the Hall show ended in 1995, Mark ended up being a main cast member for 3 seasons of SNL, 20, 21, and 22. You might notice that season 20 is one of the worst rated seasons that SNL ever had. And this is quite funny, because both Mark and Bruce wrote for the 11th season of Saturday Night Live back in 1986, which is also regarded as one of the worst seasons. Anywho, some of Mark's characters from the Kids in the Hall show ended up on SNL, including the Chicken Lady and Daryl. He was unfortunately underutilized and left rather quickly. Harvey Beaks. This is probably higher than it should be, but I'm putting this here because I love this show and nobody talks about it, and it's my personal favorite of all the individual projects that the kids did, so I'm putting it here. Dave played a little steampunk mongoose guy named Moth. And this Nickelodeon show that's very cute. It only lasted 2 seasons, and I want more people to know about it, so I'm putting it here. Cat Scratch. Once again, probably higher than it should be, but I remember it, so here we are. Kevin played one of the 3 cat brothers, Waffle, in this Nickelodeon show that only lasted 1 season and 20 episodes, but points for having McDonald's toys made after it. I don't think any other shows on this list have them, so here we go. Commentaries. On the DVDs, every season had 2 best of episodes made and were commentated on after. And all of these will be in the Google Doc down in the description if you'd like to listen to them. They're very interesting and a bit funny. Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet. This is the band that recorded the theme song for the Kids in the Hall show, which is Having an Average Weekend, heavily featured and referenced throughout the rest of the show. The Larry Sanders Show. Scott was a main cast member on the last 3 seasons of The Larry Sanders Show, which was a highly acclaimed HBO show from 1992. He played the assistant Brian to Jeffrey Tambor's character. Slings and Arrows. Mark both created and starred in this show, following a theater company made for the Movie Network in Canada. He played a business manager named Richard Smith Jones. It ran for 3 seasons and became a cult classic. Are you noticing a theme yet? The Wrong Guy. Dave both wrote and starred in this 1997 straight-to-DVD classic about a man named Nelson Fibbert on the run after his boss was murdered. It was never widely released in the US, was never in theaters, and was released, as said, straight-to-video, and only had a very limited release in Canada. Kevin also appeared as a hotel manager in it, so cameo. Another cult classic, once called the best Canadian comedy film of all time, so that's nice.
Know how many assassins it took to kill JFK?
1?
Nope. There were no gunmen at all. Kennedy's head just did that.
Really?
Will and Grace. Dave turned up as a love interest, Stuart, of the character Jack, in the 6th season of this NBC comedy. Third Rock from the Sun. Mark appeared in 1 episode of this NBC comedy, My Mother, the Dick, as an alien. Seinfeld, a show about nothing, aired on NBC as well. Kevin turned up during an episode in the 9th season called The Strike as Denim Vest. Schitt's Creek and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Bruce directed episodes of both these shows, but did not appear in either of them, which is why they're in the 2nd tier and not the 1st. For Schitt's Creek, he directed the episodes Dead Guy in Room 4, Asbestos Fest, R.I.P. Moira Rose, Open Mic, The Olive Branch, and Baby Sprinkle, all from the 4th season. And for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he only directed 1 episode, Karen Peralta, from the 3rd season. Dick. Both Dave and Bruce appeared in this 1999 comedy starring Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams. This movie tells the true story of the 2 teenage girls who played the role of Deep Throat and exposed the Watergate scandal to the reporters at the Washington Post. Bruce played one of the reporters, and Dave played a right-hand man to former President Nixon. Blast from the Past. Dave played the gay housemate Troy of Alicia Silverstone in this different 1999 comedy. While not as acclaimed as Dick, it is well remembered in its own right. Monsters University. Prequel to Monsters, Inc., released 12 years after the first movie. Dave played one half of conjoined twins named Terry. The original was better, but this one is decent. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dave played a middle school principal in this FX comedy in 3 episodes across 2 seasons. It was a pretty small role, but it was a pretty good show, so I decided to go in this tier. Scrubs. Dave appeared in 2 episodes as a grief counselor, Dr. Lester Hedrick, in this NBC sitcom, and the season 5 episode My 5 Stages, and the season 6 episode My House. Friends. I personally don't like the show Friends for reasons that I will not get into here, but I have to acknowledge that it is wildly popular. Here, Kevin appeared in a 3rd season episode of this NBC sitcom in the episode The One with Ross's Thing.
South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. Now with Friends, I don't really like South Park, but I have to put it on here, so here we are. Dave played all 4 Baldwin brothers in this 1999 comedy.
Arrested Development. Both Kevin and Bruce were on at different times. Kevin was on during the original Fox run in the 1st season episode Not Without My Daughter as a cop. Bruce had a recurring role throughout the 2 revival seasons on Netflix, appearing as a pastor in the season 4 episode Colony Collapse and the season 5 episode Tastemakers. Spice World. Mark appeared as a screenwriter in the iconic 1997 classic Spice World, a movie that was once ripped apart by critics, but is now appreciated for the masterpiece that it is. Fubar. Fubar is a Netflix action comedy show that Scott appears in as Arnold Schwarzenegger's therapist. The 2nd season is currently filming. Dark Side of Comedy. A Vice program that Dave narrates showcasing stories of comedians who either died young or went through some shit. Currently has 2 seasons, and since Vice is dying, I don't know if there'll be a 3rd, but it's pretty good if you want to learn more about classic comedians. Dave's Mint Mobile commercial. Dave once appeared in a commercial for Ryan Reynolds Telecommunications, fancy word, provider. Here's the whole thing.
Hi, I'm part-time comedian and full-time Canadian Dave Foley. And, earlier today I tweeted at Ryan Reynolds, asking if I switched to Mint, if I could be in one of his Mint Mobile commercials. And I don't know if you can tell, but here I am. I'm in a Mint Mobile commercial. It all happened pretty fast. There wasn't time to write anything, so I didn't think it would get this far. I was just like, randomly, tweeting at Canadian celebrities. I've only been a customer for a few hours, but I got to say that the service is amazing. And the one call I made was clear.
Roger Ebert going sicko mode on Brain Candy. Roger Ebert famously did not like the Kids in the Hall movie Brain Candy, and his full range of emotions towards the movie was showcased on his and Gene Siskel's show back in 1996. Here's the clip.
Boy, are we apart on this one. I did not laugh once. I thought this movie was awful.
Oh, no, Roger.
Dreadful.
No.
Terrible.
No.
Stupid. Idiotic.
No.
Unfunny.
No.
Labored. Forced.
Oh, Roger.
Painful.
Roger, this is
bad.
What happened to your sense of humor?
I've got my
Many of the Kids in the Hall's early performances were filmed, and some were released in both official and non-official capacity. The 4 released sketches on the DVD are 1 in 4 Men, Baskets, Toga Party, and the stage version of Joymakers. 2 unofficial film performances have also been found, these being the stage version of New Mom and Just a Truck Named Dempsters. Throughout the years, many sketches have been uploaded and taken down. A full list of these sketches that were once on YouTube and now not are Board Robber, Tundra Butler, Buddy Holly, Pizza Pizza, Casting Couch, Romeo, Dog Office, Oscars 2, If Number 1 and Number 2, New Names, Miss Banner 89, Ruby Teacher, and How I Fucked Mark. All of these were being performed from 1987 to 1990. Some other live sketches that were never filmed or released after this date include Rat Catchers, a Nicole Richie monologue, Biggest Fan in the original version of Gut Spigot. All of these were performed in the 2007 tour. Another sketch from the 2014 tour, Wedding Dresses, has only bits and pieces online, although the version from 2024 has surfaced. The Kids in the Hall, Stuff We Couldn't Do. This was a live performance in January of this year, 2024, showing off all the sketches censored from the Amazon revival of the show. It was only released on a streaming service called Veeps that could not be rebroadcasted, but the whole show was filmed anyway, and you can watch all the sketches by going to the Google Doc in the description of this video. They're all there. The 2007 tour. The 2007 tour is basically just like the previous two tours in 2000 and 2002, except it happened later. Some new material was performed as opposed to the previous two tours, which mostly had old material. Some new material included The Professor, Super Drunk, and Imaginary Girlfriend, which all made it into the Amazon revival, and Dance Like This and Time Travelers, which didn't. Two non-fan recorded sketches were also made, Car Fuckers and Rape Kevin.
I think Mark's got something. Come on, Mark. What is it? Mark's got some gold.
What is
What do you
it?
got, Mark?
Don't be afraid.
Okay, I got one idea.
Okay.
What if we rape Kevin?
Oh my God.
DVD bonus features. Both Same Guy's New Dresses and Tour of Duty included bonus features. For the latter, two extra sketches were included, Joy Makers and Never Trust. For the former, some extras included Kevin Eats Soup and Dave's Eye Surgery. The books. Two books have been released based on The Kids in the Hall, those being This Is a Book About the Kids in the Hall in 2016 by author John Semley, and The Kids in the Hall, One Dumb Guy in 2018 by Paul Myers. Both are biographies, but only the latter has interviews with the kids themselves. I personally enjoyed that book better, but both are pretty good if you're a fan of the kids. All of Dave's one-episode roles on various shows. This entry includes his role as a fake assassin on In Plain Sight, a crazy businessman on Drew Jackson VP, a bomb-making expert on Eureka, a British valet on the 2020s version of Night Court, Marshall's prospective boss on How I Met Your Mother, a random guy on Brothers and Sisters, a guy who got slapped by Bill Nye the Science Guy on Stargate Atlantis, a creepy stalker on Desperate Housewives, a blind porn addict on Just Shoot Me, Lance Bass from NSYNC's manager in the movie On the Line, a bug-themed supervillain on The Tick, a cheater on Las Vegas, a scientist building sentient robots on What's New Scooby-Doo, an ex-fiancé on Hot Properties, where he was playing the same guy from True Jackson VP for some reason. His name was Ted Begley Jr., a glass-eye salesman on Tom Goes to the Mayor, a creepy prime minister's husband on Veep, a pound puppy in Pound Puppies, a mad scientist on Mr. Pickles, himself in Mark Maron's sitcom Maron, and Jake's dad and child murderer on Adventure Time. Bruce Remembers. Bruce McCullough Remembers is a series on Bruce's YouTube channel where he talks about old sketches and parts of the show and how they came to be. I thought that they were very interesting and informative, and you can also watch them here on YouTube. Buddy Cole Biography. Buddy Babylon, the autobiography of Buddy Cole, is a 1998 novel written by Buddy himself, recounting his childhood and exploits throughout the years. The whole book is available on the Internet Archive, so get reading. Mouth Congress. Mouth Congress was an art punk band founded by Scott and the Kids' human mascot, Paul Bellini. The band was not particularly acclaimed or successful during their original run, but as the years went by, the people woke up and started appreciating them. Or I did at least. Some good songs by them include Tactile and The People Have Spoken. They have 2 albums up on Spotify, Awe the Pollution and Waiting for Henry. Celebrity Poker Showdown. This was a reality show on Bravo hosted by Dave. Not very interesting in my opinion, but a lot of different celebrities appeared on it, playing for their charity of choice. If you can tell my voice is giving out already, no you can't. Dr. Ken, an ABC sitcom fronted by Ken Jeong. Dave was in it playing the boss, Pat Hine, of Jeong's character. Lasted 2 seasons, had mixed reviews, but was pretty harmless. Mad TV. Dave, Bruce, and Kevin all appeared on Mad TV, giving their own monologues. Dave and Bruce both appeared in the first season, with Kevin in the second. My favorite of the bunch is probably Kevin's, but they're all on YouTube, so you can watch them.
I said screw this. I didn't bother to push my other monologue ideas. Kevin Naked and Wet.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Studio 60 was an NBC drama created by Aaron Sorkin, known for creating The West Wing and writing A Few Good Men. Known mostly for having the same premise as 30 Rock, but was shorter lived. Mark started off as a writer and story consultant, and eventually became an actor for it, taking on a rare dramatic role that was pretty good. Mr. Show with Bob and David. Dave appeared in the second to last episode of the second season of Mr. Show in the sketch Second Wind. In my opinion, his Mad TV sketch was better. Really? This is a podcast run by Dave discussing UFO and UAP topics. Still currently running, all episodes are on YouTube if you want to watch it. Buddy Cole documentary. A fan of the Kids of the Hall named Jessamine Manchester is currently working on a documentary centered around the character Buddy Cole and his impact on the gay community.
Little Bird told me that apparently someone is making a documentary about Buddy Cole. And the filmmaker told me that if I play my cards right, she might let me even be in it. I hope so, because I need the screen time. How's that?
Cut.
Good. Okay, great. I can take this off now? Oh, God. Oh, I think it'll work, though, because people will feel sorry for me, and that's what... You're not still shooting, are you?
Oh, I forgot.
Paul,
Okay.
don't send this
Hi,
tape!
Cleveland. Dave originally appeared as a one-episode character in the first season of this TV Land program, but eventually became a recurring character and love interest Bob to the main character Joy. In the finale, they get married and adopt a daughter. They're very cute. Amphibia. This was a Disney Channel show that ran for 3 seasons that Kevin was in as a new food critic named Albus Duckweed. It ran from 2019 to 2022. Space Cadet. A recent movie released by Amazon just last month in July 2024. Dave plays the director of NASA. Pretty good if you haven't seen it yet. The Middle. Dave is a recurring character on this ABC sitcom, playing guidance counselor Chuck Fulton. He appeared in seasons 4 through 9. Odds videos. Odds are a band that were featured in Brain Candy, and 4 of the 5 kids appeared in 2 of their music videos. Dave, Kevin, and Mark all appeared in a video for Heterosexual Man from their album Bedbugs in 1993, and Bruce appeared in Make You Mad from the album Nest in 1996. High Stakes. High Stakes is a 1986 film that was Dave's first starring role. It was a detective story parody that wasn't very funny and was quickly forgotten, but it's on YouTube if you'd like to see it. He looks very cute in it. 3 Men and a Baby. Another early role for Dave, appearing for about 5 seconds as a stock boy in this fondly remembered 1987 comedy. Anne of Avonlea. Both Bruce and Dave, both looking very cute, appeared in this almost 4-hour-long TV movie based on the Anne of Green Gables books. Mostly remembered because Bruce mentioned this in the Pooh Guy sketch.
People don't come up to me and go, hey, you're that guy who had a really small part in Anne of Green Gables.
Outkast Rose's video. Kevin appeared in this music video by the hip-hop duo Outkast back in 2004. This song originated from the album Speaker Box, The Love Below, which would go on to be certified 13 times platinum. Young Drunk Punk, the name of Bruce's autobiography, and a show based on it that ran for a season on City in 2015. All episodes are on YouTube, and you can buy the book anywhere. Postal. A not very good movie based on the video game Postal. Dave plays Uncle Dave, a cult leader who gets murdered after finding out he's gay. Do not recommend. It's Pat, another interesting movie starring Dave. This one was based on some old Saturday Night Live skits starring the Pat character. Dave plays their love interest Chris. Most people don't like this one, but I thought it was fine. I don't know. Epic Movie. Another not very good movie, this time having Kevin play Harry Potter for some reason. I think both this one and It's Pat have 0% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Not great. Spin the Bottle. Scott appeared in this Juliana Hatfield video off of her album Become What You Are, bringing the music video section of this tier to an end. Tales of Bravery and Stupidity. Bruce's current live show that is still running today. The recording of it is also up on his YouTube channel if you'd like to see it. King. Another live show still running, this time from Scott, featuring new Buddy Cole material. A recording has not yet been made of this one, so you're going to have to buy tickets to see it. The Rolling Stone interview. This was an interview done at the very start of the show's run, asking if America's ready for the kids or not. I'm guessing the answer is no still. I couldn't actually find the article on the Rolling Stone website. We're going to see if I can find it later on. Cable Ace Awards. If you don't know, like I didn't when I first watched the Kids in the Hall show, the Emmy Awards won award shows that were on cable networks back when they were new, which led to the Cable Ace Awards being created. So back in 1989, the Kids in the Hall show was canceled after its first season, but Mark was nominated for a Leading Actor Award against Gary Shandling, who was favored to win, but Mark won instead, and therefore they got a second, and then third, fourth, and fifth seasons, so that's nice.
Alright, Brent, I'm getting sick of this. Show him the Ace Award. Come on.
Hollywood Critic Awards. This one is a slightly more well-known award show. The 6th season of The Kids in the Hall won a Hollywood Critic Award for the Best Streaming Variety Sketch Series, Talk Series, or Special in 2022. The whole acceptance speech is on YouTube, and I'm going to show it real quick.
Well, this makes up for being snubbed in the first annual ACA simply because we had not been on TV for a quarter century. This is quite a surprise. So surprised that literally, I know people say this, but we didn't really prepare for this. So I want to thank Lorne Michaels for plucking us from obscurity and raising us all the way up to semi-obscurity. I'd like to thank our friends at all of our friends at Broadway Video and our friends at Project 10 in Toronto, Andrew Barnsley and the gang, and Andrew, and with Amazon, for ruining the planet, but producing some great television while they're at it. Who are we forgetting? Oh, the rest of the Kids in the Hall. I only remember Kevin's name, but the other guys too. We're all thrilled. This is ridiculous. Yes, we are in our 60s. We do call ourselves kids. There didn't seem to be a way around it. So that's it. Is that enough? Yeah. Is that enough? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Odd Squad. Kevin, Mark, and Scott all appeared in this PBS Kids show in its first season in the episode Crime at Shapely Manor, appearing in a parody of Clue based around shape-obsessed characters. Very cute and a fun watch. Corner Gas. Both Kevin and Mark were in this Canadian sitcom that ran on CTV, with Kevin appearing in the 2nd episode of the first season and Mark appearing in the 12th episode of the 2nd. This is also all on YouTube if you want to go watch it. A Night at the Roxbury, The Ladies' Man, and Superstar. All of these are movies based on Saturday Night Live characters that Mark appeared in to some capacity. None did particularly well with critics or made a ton of money. Superstar was also directed by Bruce, which leads us into Dog Park, Stealing Harvard, and Comeback Season. These are all of the other movies that Bruce directed. Mark also appears in Dog Park, but none of the other kids appear in the other 2 movies. Dog Park had good reviews and was nominated for a couple Genie Awards, which are like Canadian Oscars, but the other 2 movies were reviewed badly by critics and were sadly quickly forgotten. All can be found online or bought on DVD. I actually have Dog Park on DVD. It's a pretty good movie. Further Tales from the City. Both Scott and Bruce appeared in the sequel to the Showtime and Channel 4 miniseries Tales from the City. All of the seasons of this miniseries were generally acclaimed, but no one really talks about them now, which is why they're in this tier and not the 2nd tier. Prep and Landing. Airing on ABC, these are a series of Christmas-themed short films based on characters created by Hallmark, like a Strawberry Shortcake for Christmas. Dave plays an elf named Wayne. There are 3 in total, but Disney's commissioned a 4th one to air next year, so 2025. The New Adventures of Old Christine. Dave appeared 3 times on the CBS sitcom as Tom, a love interest to Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character, which is Old Christine. Word Girl. Kevin appeared as a recurring villain, the Baker, on this PBS Kids cartoon designed to teach kids about language skills. I did not watch this as a kid, obviously, because I have bad language skills. Comedy Bang Bang. This was a comedic talk show that aired on IFC for 5 seasons from 2012 to 2016. Dave, Bruce, and Kevin all appeared on various episodes throughout these seasons. If you'd like to see which, go to the Google Doc in the description. I have all of them down there. Star Trek Voyager. This was a spin-off of this highly successful Star Trek franchise, which ran on the now dead network UPN. Scott appeared in one 5th season episode, Someone to Watch Over Me. Star Trek Lower Decks. Another Star Trek show, this one being animated and airing on Paramount+. Dave was in one episode in the 4th season, Parth Ferengi's Heart Place. Degrassi. Scott appeared as a principal in the very last episode of Degrassi The Next Generation. They should bring Degrassi back one day, maybe he can be the full-time principal on it. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. This was an anime series that premiered on Netflix last year based on the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World movie. Kevin played a director based on the actual director of the original movie, Edgar Wright. Young Sheldon. Dave appeared in a recurring capacity as character Gary O'Brien on the CBS sitcom for the last 2 seasons. Interviews. There have been plenty of interviews with the kids throughout their careers, but the ones I'd like to highlight are the CBC Midday interview about the sketch Grave Robbers from Hipsville, which didn't make it onto the show, and the Conan interview from 2000 featured Insane Guys' New Dresses.
What, baby?
You gotta help me out.
Little guy.
Natasha!
Hi there.
Natasha!
What would you say if aliens came down and tried to pick us up?
Would they pay us in our own money?
No, in alien money.
No, I would not fall for that again. No.
Okay. I would.
Lost sketches. A few sketches of the Kids in the Hall show were lost over time due to being censored or not included on the DVDs. The entire list of sketches that were lost either now or at some point are Everyone's Friend from the pilot, never re-aired after the initial broadcast on HBO, and probably wasn't recorded because the pilot originally aired at like 2 in the morning. This one was mentioned in the commentaries on the DVD, but has never been found since it originally aired. Giants Orders Bacon from Season 1, Episode 16, aired as a replacement for the sketch Manny Coon in Canada. All of the other ones, except for 2 at the bottom, were replaced in Canada, not the US. The US kept all of them uncensored. Wasn't included on the DVD, but eventually uploaded to YouTube.
Gines Orders Bacon. Crisp.
Cats Away Canadian version from Season 1, Episode 19. This sketch has 2 different versions. They have different places where Dave and Kevin are vacationing at. The US one has Chicago, the Canadian one has Vancouver. The HBO version, and therefore American version, was included on the DVD. Putrid Soup from Season 1, Episode 18. This is a censored version of the sketch Shitty Soup. This wasn't included on the DVD, as only the uncensored versions were put on, so all the HBO versions are on the DVD. There we go.
If you're gonna eat here, you've got to try the shitty soup.
If you're gonna eat here, you've got to try the putrid soup.
Kevin at the Movies from Season 1, Episode 19. Aired as an replacement for the sketch Tarantula. Also was included on the DVD, also uploaded to YouTube.
Do me! Do me! Please do me! I've never been done! Someone has to do me! I love you! Might as well be you! Do me! Do me! Do me!
Bank People, censored from Season 1, Episode 20. All profanity in this sketch was changed to friendlier language in Canada. Fuck the bank became screw the bank, so on and so forth.
Fuck the bank I work for, fuck the bank! Screw the bank I work for, screw the bank!
Aroomba, also from Season 1, Episode 20. Aired as a replacement for the sketch Dr. Seuss Bible. Same as Doug Gines and Kevin at the Movies, wasn't included on the DVD.
Aroomba, 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 Aroomba. Aroomba, 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 Aroomba.
I catch a fish, I cook a fish, I eat the fish, I like it.
The Jury, censored version from Season 2, Episode 5. Instead of Bruce being charged as an asshole in the uncensored sketch, it was changed to him being charged as a prick. This was one of only two that wasn't able to find despite it apparently airing on the Comedy Channel. In Canada, I couldn't find a recording of it. Blah Blah from Season 2, Episode 12, aired as a replacement for the sketch Carpenter. Same as the other couple sketches, it wasn't included on the DVD. The Leash, Dime from Season 2, Episode 15, a very short piece that wasn't a replacement for anything as far as I can find, also wasn't included on the DVD. I got into comedy from Season 2, Episode 15 as well, a very elusive sketch that I eventually managed to track down, which aired as a replacement for the sketch Pooh Guy, which I mentioned before. Wasn't uploaded to YouTube until last month, which I did, so you're welcome.
Uncle Mike, I got into comedy because of him. For the sense of power.
Touch Bellini, Canadian version from Season 2, Episode 17. There were two winners picked for the Touch Bellini contest in the second season. The American winner, and one included on the DVD, was Rebecca Klatka from St. Petersburg, Florida. The Canadian winner not included was Charles Hitchcock from Perth Andover, New Brunswick. Mushroom Boy from Season 3, Episode 7. Aired as a replacement to the sketch Sacking All Admirals, one of my personal favorites. You get the idea, it wasn't on the DVD, but it's on YouTube now. In the Old Days from Season 4, Episode 12. This one was found rather recently last month. The sketch replaced the sketch The Hangover in the US rather than Canada. We actually replaced one, ain't that what?
All I'm saying, right, it's in the old days, right? The women know who the women were. The men know who the men were. The women know who the men were. And the men know who the women were.
Fine Line 2, also from Season 4, Episode 12. This sketch wasn't even known to exist until last month, after being found by a Facebook user named Kelly going through her old Comedy Central tapes, so everybody thank her, yeah. These are all the sketches that are known to have aired in either Canada or the US. I'll have a section for filmed but not aired sketches later.
Mississippi Delta thing, I'm from the Ottawa Hull region.
Mississippi Delta thing, really? I'm from Vermont.
Celebrity Ghost Stories. I'm honestly just putting this on here because I was obsessed with this show as a child. I had the entire episode Dave was on a tape that I recorded when I was only 5. I used to watch that thing over and over and over again for like 3 years. And I didn't even realize he was on it until like 2 months ago, so that was awkward. No, the ghost man I wanted to marry as a child was a man named Brendan Cook, who's on my ghost story who has nothing to do with this, but it aired back to back with Celebrity Ghost Stories on Bio, which is now called FYI, but I won't acknowledge that. It'll always be Bio to me. And in another universe, I'd be making an Iceberg video purely out of things that Brendan's been in, but I'm not, so oh well. Spun Out. This was a particularly cynically made show, purely made to cover child support payments to Dave's ex-wife. Dave played public relation firm owner Dave Lyons. It aired for 2 seasons on CTV until one of the other actors was discovered to have spy cameras in rooms he was renting out to young women, causing him to be arrested and the show to be canceled. And on a lighter note, all 5 of them appeared together in the first season episode of Middle-Aged Men in the Hall. The 2014 tour. For some reason, videos of the 2014 tour are much harder to come by than the 2007 tour. Some sketches from the 2014 tour, including the Dessert Guy sketch, eventually made it on to the Amazon revival, and the wedding dresses one mentioned before, only having snippets of video found. Denny Husk book. Husk, The Hollow Planet, was a graphic novel written by Scott telling the adventures of his character Danny Husk in 2010. A promo video was also made for the book, which is what's playing now. Relatively Well. Dave Foley, Relatively Well, was a stand-up special recorded by Dave in 2013 and distributed by Showtime. It's on Tubi if you'd really like to watch it. Would I recommend it? No. Shane Bass Band was Bruce's first album of comedy rock music released in 1995, right after the show ended. Dave's I Know from the first season of the show was also included on it, but besides that, the rest of the songs were new material.
Bruce McCullough has a record out. It's a shame-faced man. Bruce McCullough's got a record out. He's got a guy in the hallway.
Bruce McCullough's got a record out. He's the guy from the Kids in the Hall.
Shame, shame-based man.
Available in record stores and places like that. Bruce McCullough's got a record out. It's called The Shame-Faced Man. Bruce McCullough's got a record out. He's the guy from the Kids in the Hall. You really don't know him, but we're glad he hired us. Shame, 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 shame-faced man. Available in record stores and places like that.
Buddy Cole and the Colbert Report. Buddy Cole himself appeared as a correspondent for the Colbert Report during the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. During this, they actually sent Scott to Russia, where he and the filming crew were approached by Russian police for fake protesting. These segments are currently available to purchase on iTunes, or you can watch them on the Internet Archive, which are cut into 1-minute chunks. Buddy Cole origins. Speaking of Buddy Cole, the character originated from short home movies that Scott and Paul Bellini made from 1985 to 1989. Both Kevin and Mark appeared in one part each. All 11 parts of the original Buddy movies are on YouTube and down in the description. Scott and Kevin discuss free trade. Another home movie, this time starring both Scott and Kevin just doing shit, including discussing free trade. Fun fact, the Baskets characters from the live shows made an appearance here.
Trade. For or against it? For. I'm against it. What's your opinion? What do you think?
Big waddle.
Big shit is
so
big.
My
shit is so
If I may lick your right.
Shit is so big.
Celebrity Family Feud. Dave and various members of his family appeared on Celebrity Family Feud back in 2016. They didn't win, but it's a fun watch. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Dave appeared as a bellhop mutated into a bull in 2 episodes of this Nickelodeon series, which I'm mentioning purely because I liked it and I want people to watch it. The Dessert. The Dessert is a new sketch comedy show that's currently produced by Bruce. It airs on a streaming service called Crave, and there's a new episode out that stars popular YouTuber Curtis Connor, so that's me. Picnic Face, another sketch comedy show that was instead produced by Mark, that aired on the Comedy Network in 2011, generally well-loved but cancelled early. From the Earth to the Moon. This was an HBO miniseries based on the space race and the astronauts that originally walked on the moon. Dave starred in 1 episode as astronaut Alan Bean, was critically acclaimed and nominated for 3 Emmys, and produced by Tom Hanks, but was unfortunately overshadowed by one of his later works, which was also on HBO, Band of Brothers. The Odd Couple. Dave appeared as the character Roy during the first season of the CBS revival of The Odd Couple in 2015. Providence. Scott appeared as Elliot Anderman throughout the 3rd season and first episode of the 4th season on this NBC drama starring Melina Kanakarides and Mike Farrell. Grounded for Life. Dave, Kevin, and Scott all appeared in different episodes of this WB sitcom in Baby Come Back, Pressure Drop, and Psychotherapy, respectively. Robson Arms. This show is a primetime soap opera focusing on people living in an apartment building, which aired on CTV. Both Mark and Dave appeared in different seasons, Mark being in the 1st season and Dave being in the 3rd and last season. Outstanding and Standout. Scott appeared in this documentary and stand-up show, respectively, which were both distributed by Netflix. The documentary looked to document LGBT comedians, and the stand-up show was used as a backdrop for it. Onward and the other Pixar stuff. Dave appeared as a background character in the straight-to-Disney Plus Pixar movie in 2020. The other 2 Pixar movies Dave was also in that I haven't mentioned yet are Toy Story 2 and Cars, both as Flick from A Bug's Life. Kevin's Rock Opera. Kevin's recent tour, which goes along with both Tales of Bravery and Stupidity, and King from the 3rd tier. I had 50 things in that tier, so I moved this one down. To make up for it, I'll play one of his promo videos.
I was going to yell and get excited about come to my show and Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. I'm Kevin McDonald. Sure, I'm the weakest kid in the hall, but I'm a kid in the hall. Sorry, Dave Foley's too busy. Anyway, come. But I can't yell and scream because my little cat hates me. He bites me. he bites me when no one's around. Anyway, come to the show. I don't want to wake my cat because my cat will bite me. It's the Dynasty Typewriter. January 7th. It's a rock opera. I wrote a rock opera. I can't write music. I sing the lead. I can't sing. A lot of great guest stars. And one of the people in the cast won an Olivier Award. Sorry.
Dave Foley's True Meaning of Christmas special. Back in 2002, Dave had his own Christmas special to be aired on the CBC. I unfortunately have not watched the special yet, as it is not Christmas. Rocket Monkeys. This was a rather obscure cartoon that aired on Teletoon in Canada and Nicktoons in the US. Both Mark and Scott appeared in this show, Scott as a one-off villain and Mark as the main villain, a talking banana named Lord Peel. Mr. Heavyfoot Buys Milk. This was a short film featuring recurring Kids in the Hall character Mr. Heavyfoot, written and directed by Dave's daughter Alina. Cute. Colorado videos. Dave was in 2 videos for the band Colorado, those being Americana-Rama in 2008 and Desire 126 in 2014. Head Office. Head Office is a 1985 black comedy film set in Chicago yet filmed in Toronto. Anyway, Scott appeared as an extra in one scene, and I've yet to watch this one, so I can't tell you if it's good or not. Man-Seeking Woman. This was an FX original series focusing on a man trying to find love in the 2010s. Once again set in Chicago. Once again filmed in Toronto. Mark appeared as the main character's dad Tom throughout all 3 seasons. Kevin appeared in the 2nd season episode Cactus as Chainsaw. Scott appeared in the 2nd season episode Balloons as this character. And Bruce appeared in the 3rd season episode Dolphin as a doctor. Unaccompanied Minors, a 2006 Christmas movie that Kevin, Mark, and Bruce all cameoed in for about a minute. Fun fact, instead of being filmed in Toronto like the last 2, this one was filmed in both Salt Lake City, Utah, and Scotland. That's fun, isn't it? Another gay movie. Scott appeared as the dad in both this movie and the sequel, another gay movie, Gays Gone Wild. The original actually got decent reviews, but the sequel was sadly unacclaimed. Fishhooks. Kevin played the recurring character Dr. Frog in this forgotten Disney series that I used to watch as a child in 2010. During the year of 2013, the company Nerdist interviewed all the kids about their old sketches and plopped them on YouTube. Unfortunately, due to the interviewer, Chris Hardwick, being a creep, Nerdist deleted all the interviews and wiped them from YouTube. However, you can still watch them all on the Internet Archive, and again, you'll find the link down in the description. The 1994 Emmy Awards. The Kids in the Hall were nominated for Outstanding Writing in a Variety or Music Program at the 46th Primetime Emmy Awards. They unfortunately lost to Dennis Miller Live. I have pictures of both Dave and Scott there, so you'll be seeing them. This is down in the 4th tier because they didn't win. HBO Behind the Scenes. This was a special aired on HBO showing the behind the scenes making of the movie Brain Candy, how much everyone hated each other when they were making it. The alternate ending. Going with the behind the scenes, the movie was originally going to have a very different ending than the officially released one. The released ending has the scientist who made the drug being able to figure out how to reverse its effects, and then it ends. In this ending, the main scientist, Chris Cooper, or Kevin, takes his own drug after ruining the world and lapses into a happiness coma. This was originally only available as a work print, so it's in very bad quality. I don't know if there's a better quality version of it out here, but here you go. There are also other various deleted scenes that can be found on YouTube, but I'll just put all of them here for simplicity's sake.
Are those fries ready yet? We need fries. Are they ready yet?
Then?
We need fries.
I had my moment there.
No, the fries will never be ready. The fries will never be ready. The fries will never be ready. The fries will never be ready.
And I moved out of my parents' house. From the ashes of my old life, I arose anew. So, any questions?
Wander Over Yonder. Kevin played recurring character the King of Sherblorg 7 on 2 episodes of this Disney show, mostly remembered for being created by Powerpuff Girls creator Craig McCracken, but was cute in its own right. Back at the Barnyard, Kevin played recurring character Baxter on this Nickelodeon show, known for being the follow-up to the much more successful Jimmy Neutron, also starring Chris Hardwick, who we talked about before. Kevin's one-episode cartoon roles. As I did with Dave's one-episode roles in various shows, I'll do the same with Kevin's cartoon roles. This includes his role as an imaginary friend in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, a zookeeper in The Angry Beavers, a Canadian dad in Cow and Chicken, an evil security guard in What's New Scooby-Doo, which we talked about before, the announcer in the movie Galaxy Quest, a Canadian version of Dr. Doofenshmirtz in Phineas and Ferb, and one of Pizzazza's sisters in Moonbeam City. Bratz. And going with the one-episode roles, Kevin is alleged to be in a second episode of the Bratz cartoon entitled Inner Beauty Queen, but I'm personally not sure if that's true. There's no credits on either copy of the episode online, and I don't think the character sounds like him, but I don't think the Bratz wiki would lie to me, so I'm keeping this one in. The saddest music in the world. This was an actually acclaimed movie, which is mostly forgotten due to the fact that it's Canadian. Sad. Mark stars with Isabella fucking Rossellini in this film, made it look like old 30s movies and focusing on a contest to determine which country has the saddest music. It literally has a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes and won multiple awards, and no one talks about it, so I will instead.
Wanna know something else? It's a fact. The Queen of England doesn't know her ABCs anymore.
A, B, C, D, X, P, Q, R, X, Y, D. Hello. R, B. Rule Britannia.
Sadly, she's old. It's a fact.
Unaired sketches. Using the power of the Wayback Machine to allow me to access an old Kids in the Hall fan site named kidsfan.org, I was able to find the titles and scripts of 2 sketches that were filmed but never aired, those being Male Prostitute Greeting Card Rider and Lesbian House Tour. I was also able to find a picture and 2 videos of 3 sketches that were also filmed but never aired. Unfortunately, I don't know the names of these 3 sketches, but based on the picture and footage respectively, I will be calling them Amusement Park Thanksgiving, Travel Agency, and Hospital. One other film sketch with no available media is Buddy and the Bob.
We wrote at the same time that we also wrote The Naysayer. That's like Sandwich, we also wrote The Naysayer.
We wrote very quickly as well. Those are very, what they're getting at, folks, is it's one of our famous bomb scenes that we actually, we pulled it from the show partway through performing it.
We wrote that scene in as much time as it takes to say, this is shit. Right?
Pretty much.
Season 1 wrap tape. This was a tape made by Alan Novak, who was someone who worked on the first season of the Kids in the Hall show. This has a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage and pictures, and has snippets of the 2 sketches that I mentioned before that never aired.
Listen, I have something to tell you. I know that I've only known you an hour, but I love you. Would you get out of here? I'm trying to talk. Would you get out of here? I'm trying to talk. Would you get out of here? I'm trying to talk. Go on. Can we feed this extra? What? I first came out with the idea for Cabbage Head, I was... Like I keep going?
Death Comes to Town bloopers. Like the rap tape, this includes bloopers for the miniseries Death Comes to Town that is released on the DVD with the rest of the series. This should technically be with the DVD bonus features in the 3rd tier, but I'm putting it here because I want it to go with the rap tape. The Soup. 4 out of 5 kids made an appearance as fake pageant princesses on talk show The Soup back in 2010. Mark only appeared as a voice playing their mom. Surprisingly easy to find, I thought it would be harder. Carpoolers. This was a show created by Bruce for ABC back in 2007. Scott, Dave, and Kevin appeared in episodes as well, but the show was canceled after 13 episodes due to the 2007 writers' strike. All episodes are on YouTube. Drunk Baby Project. This was Bruce's second album after Shame-Based Man. However, unlike the previous album, all the songs from this one are not on YouTube. Only a handful are for some reason. You can still buy it for like $20, but it's farther down on the Iceberg for that reason alone. The Lois Show. This is a live show performed by Scott in 2001 and canceled quickly due to the 9/11 attacks happening at the same time as it was based in New York. It was supposed to open the week after 9/11 actually happened, so that's not good. Kevin McDonald's Kevin McDonald Show, a podcast made by Kevin McDonald for Kevin McDonald fans such as myself. There are about 3 years of these episodes, and a bunch of different people were interviewed for it, including Dave. Hammy and the Kids, a one-man show performed by Kevin about his childhood and alcoholic father back in 2010. Facebook videos. There are multiple videos that the kids made that are exclusive to Facebook, including the well-remembered Scott plays Portal while the others sit outside and laugh at him, and multiple videos showing the behind the scenes of Death Comes to Town.
You ever play Starship Tycoon?
What's going on?
We are watching what Scott is doing in the back of the bus, which is playing or exploring a video game.
And how's he doing?
He's doing very slowly, and it seems he's having some confusion.
It's really great to watch him learn.
He's gonna kill him.
He's gonna go, what are they laughing at? It would be worse than if we were watching a masturbate.
Here we go.
It's like the Three Stooges playing video games. Inside one man's head.
Excellent. Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test. However, note the incandescent particle field across the exit. This aperture science material prevents a patient grip will interrupt any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the aperture science field storage food.
Don't forget this part. There you go.
Over at the bird. She has to get out of this room. Oh, it's gonna be insane. It was the best night of my life.
It's with that drunk tribe laugh for 15 minutes.
I dare somebody to go back and refill his wine glass.
I would do that last night.
Not opening that door. Fucking video game is this? It's a game where you stay in one room forever and put a thing on a thing and then take it off.
Okay, we're on it.
Okay.
We got this far before, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's it.
We got this far.
Now push the
Oh, good for you. Oh, he's happy now. Good way to go. You want to send a message of congratulations to Scott?
Congratulations, Scott. You're through the first portal.
Yeah,
You're doing great.
That looks dangerous walking through those things. Oh.
Less Than Kind. This was a comedy drama about a Jewish family living in Winnipeg, airing on City TV. Mark, Dave, and Kevin all appeared in it at different times, and Mark was the showrunner. Hatching, Matching, and Dispatching, a CBC sitcom airing for 6 episodes and a pilot in 2005. Mark was one of the main cast members, also appearing in a Christmas special made later in 2017. Zero Man, a cartoon airing on Teletoon in 2004, starring Leslie Nielsen as a superhero. Kevin played Rusty Wood and Water throughout the series. Mouth Congress documentary, a documentary made in 2019 but not released until 2022 about the previously mentioned band Mouth Congress, was never released physically or digitally from what I can tell, only had screenings of. How to Be a Gentleman, a CBS sitcom that lasted 13 episodes. Dave played Jerry Durham on it. Can be bought on Amazon, which is what I did for this project. Godson, a straight-to-DVD parody of The Godfather starring Kevin, which critics hated and audiences did as well. Kevin actually wrote a very moving essay based on his time filming this, which can be found down in the description. I recommend reading it. The Last Days of Disco. This was a 1998 comedy drama film starring Chloe Sevigny and Kate Beckinsale that Mark also happened to be in as a bar owner. Eventually released by the Criterion Collection, which I think is the only film on this entire Iceberg to have that specification. It also resides in the permanent film library of the Museum of Modern Art in New York. The Fruit Vlog. Scott had a YouTube channel where he reviewed various fruits. Bit self-explanatory. Here's one of the clips.
Welcome to my fruit blog. China produced about 35% of this total. You guys believe that China produced 35% of all apples? We're all having different apples. I'm gonna try this one. I like your jeans. Oh, they're not actually jeans. What?
They're jeggings.
What? What? Oh my god, look at that.
You see people when they're suffering and you want to do good.
Dragon fruit, which is probably one of the biggest jokes in the whole food. I mean, the dragon fruit. What a fucking joke, eh?
So sick of you passing yourself off as a big chef when everybody knows your recipes are
Look what he did. He made a banana scotch. Isn't that delicious? This is fantastic. Let's do that too. I think it's kiwi's gentle. Lemon juice. I'm glad I didn't wear my good shirt today.
It's so sensual.
Scott, don't be like that. No, it's supposed to be both. Don't supposed to be talking about fruit. I'm not having a meltdown. And is it?
Oh, it's not
right. This is what I learned from my grandfather when I was a little boy. It's my only memory that I have of my grandfather. When I was 5, to go visit my grandfather all the time, and he would always like make me a grapefruit. He always said, "You know how to properly make a grapefruit." So everybody loves the pineapple. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody loves the pineapple. Oh, pineapple. Oh yeah. But today's fruit blog is about the pomelo. The pomelo, as you can see right here, is a citrus fruit native to Southeast Asia. I think you should go. Daryl, I think you have to go. Would you please? Clean yourself up. Get the fuck out, okay? We're
5 Pretty Feminine Guys, a music video made by Paul Bellini that's instead too hard to explain, so I'll just play some of it.
We've used women. On stage.
It's Pony, another Nicktoon, this one airing 2 seasons from 2020 to 2022. Dave played fruit vendor Mr. Gravlax. I think I'm the only person that actually watched the show start to finish. It used to be on Paramount Plus, but was taken off with a bunch of other shit this year, and now you can only buy it on Google Play, which I've done for this project as well. Funny or Die videos. Dave appeared in multiple videos for the comedy website Funny or Die, those being Sexy Daddy, Blackberry Meltdown, The Ramones Go to Heaven, and James Joyce's Love Letters. Off music videos. Dave appeared in 2 videos for the punk band Off, those being for the songs Borrow and Bomb and I've Got News for You, and Red, White, and Black. 2 Kids, One Hall. This was a tour headed by Scott and Kevin, which has a few teasers and bits and pieces still up on YouTube. I couldn't find any information for it besides that. Levy Brothers short films. Scott appeared in all 3 of these Levy Brothers short films, 52, 4 Pounds, and The Immigrant, the latter of which Dave was in as well. Thank God You're Here. This was an American adaptation of an Australian game show in which celebrity contestants had to act their way through a predetermined skit. Dave was the host of this show, which aired in 2007 on NBC. No full episodes still exist online, although many random skits and clips do. Can't Sleep. Can't Sleep with Dave Foley was a web series made by him where he interviewed various guests and had musical guests on as well. There are only 4 episodes made from what I can tell, but I'd like to see a revival. I rather like Seed, a comedy movie made in 1997 that Paul Bellini wrote and both Scott and Mark appeared in, about a boy trying to find his lost dog. Doesn't exist online. Apparently a few copies of it were found last year but have not been made publicly available. Super Pups, an obscure Netflix series that Dave made a few appearances in. Doesn't even have a Wikipedia page despite being released only 2 years ago. Bagel and Becky Show, another cartoon show made for Teletoon starring Kevin as Bagel. Never aired in the US despite most other Teletoon shows doing so, and only ran for 1 season, 26 episodes. Everton Ruins Your Holiday. Scott appeared as Queen Elizabeth in this Canadian Christmas special. I unfortunately do not have access to it, as the streaming service on Crave is only active in Canada, and I am a filthy American. So if you are Canadian and want to help me out in watching this, I wouldn't mind. I'd like that, honestly. California Dreamin'. I honestly really liked this movie and knew it wouldn't be mentioned unless I mentioned it, so here we are. Dave plays the husband of Leah Thompson, who wants to take her family on a nice vacation that is constantly interrupted by her annoying children and their annoying problems. Monster Brawl. Dave plays the announcer of a wrestling match populated by monster wrestlers. This was released in 2011, and it's something. Simon and Hecubus original version. This was uploaded to YouTube by Tiffany Lazick, showing the origins of this iconic sketch.
For those of you who have stayed, good. Now look into my face, and know, to look into my face is to look into the face of evil. Yes, I'm a man possessed by many demons.
Doomsday DJ original version. This piece from the Amazon Revival was originally performed at a variety concert that Dave's wife, Chrissy Guerrero, put on. Here's the clip.
A brand new key. That song was a huge hit from Melanie back in October of 1971. Boy, how the time has flown. And speaking of the passage of time, it was 5 years ago today that the North Koreans detonated a 10-kiloton nuclear bomb on the City of Angels. And our President Donald Trump leapt into action, tweeting, "Hey, North Korea, anything you can do, I can do better." And he dropped a 20-kiloton bomb. Also on Los Angeles.
Scott's Christmas movies. All of the kids in the hall have been in at least one Christmas movie. Dave had his prep and landing specials mentioned before, the CBC special, and a truly shitty one called Cooper's Christmas, which is the only one I'll be counting as a true movie. Kevin, Mark, and Bruce were in the aforementioned Unaccompanied Minors, but Scott takes the cake for the amount of Christmas movies he was in, with 3, Holiday Joy, Snowbound for Christmas, and Santa's Got Style. The latter 2 aired on Up, and none of which aired on Hallmark.
"30 Helens agree.
Love hurts! He'll break your heart, honey.
30 Helens agree. Love hurts."
The scripts. These are the sketches that were never filmed in general. I have to give credit to Magenta Galaxies on Tumblr, who owns a number of these scripts, or I would have never known they existed. The full list is down in the Google Doc in the description, but some of my favorites include Dave's Dead, where Dave dies in the middle of a sketch and they have to maneuver him through the next sketch. Rock, where Bruce hits Kevin with a rock. Emo Gavin, where Gavin goes emo after his mom's death. And Cold Blood, which I know nothing about, but sounds neat. Plus, here are all the unfilmed Rivoli sketches. I probably should have given the Rivoli its own section as well, but now that you're an hour into this video, let's explain right now. The Rivoli is a Toronto nightclub bar where the kids first got their start. Almost every filmed live performance was performed at the Rivoli. These ones I'm about to talk about are the really early ones. They're only mentioned in old articles and interviews and shit. These really old ones include the Improvathon, the Mafia Toilet one.
But yeah, we were doing a scene about the Mafia. And it was like a really bad, it was one of our really bomb scenes. Some people have asked about what were our bad scenes. This was one, a sort of a parody of a Mafia thing. And he was supposed to get the gun from the toilet, a la Godfather. And he's like, oh, it's so gross, I'm not putting my hand in the toilet. And then he went on and on and on.
And then cut his hand.
The Fuck Up Brothers.
Like, Mark was the director. We're doing a parody of a thing. And we were like the Three Stooges. And he'd say, you fucking something, brothers. You better not fuck up my motherfucking movie.
I'm gonna take that broom and shove it up your fucking ass.
So it was funny, that was sort of like, but we come out and we say, now all I want you to do is be a pile of bodies, get it? You're just gonna be a pile of bodies, you're not gonna move, you're not gonna talk, you're not gonna do anything. You got it? Got it. We all got it, we got it. Action. And we come out and our shtick was that we would just spit in each other's faces.
Scott and Bruce and I spat it for like 5 minutes. We were so...
And you have never... And he'd come out and go, you fucking something, brothers.
I didn't ask you to fucking spit on each other's faces.
What are you motherfuckers doing? And that was... and you've never heard an audience make that noise.
The Rectum Vagina Challenge, the one where Scott threw donuts at them. Crop Town, Lurching Seaward, Trowmouth Wears Green, Grave Robbers from Hitsville, which I mentioned before, Farmers on Heroin, and Sex with Children, which is not as bad as it sounds. It's the third installment to the career-ending sketches in Season 2, Episode 16. Fancy Dancing, a dance movie that has Dave in it that I can find next to no information on and can't even pirate. I'd have to buy the DVD, which costs $30 on Amazon. Pad, a short-lived HBO series that had various sketch comedy troupes act out some of their more famous sketches. Both Dave and Kevin performed Citizen Kane on it back in 2001. An interesting premise for a show, but it only lasted 2 episodes. PTS Diva, a podcast that Scott made back in 2019 that I cannot find online anymore. I can only find mentions of it. By the way, this tier is going to have like very, very obscure media or lost media. That's going to be the entire thing. Bobo Roach, a very obscure cartoon show that aired on Teletoon in Canada and Fox Kids in the US. Scott plays a cockroach turned into a superhero. Somehow lasted 3 seasons, all available on the Roku channel. Distant Horizons, a film commissioned by the Canadian Weather Service to help the recruitment efforts, as the description for it on YouTube says. Kevin appeared in it as the lone Met Tech. I thought it was actually very interesting. This is a very good film. Love Spring International. This was another one of Dave's one-episode roles, but I chose to put it in the last tier because the name is gross, and I've never heard anyone talk about it or remember it. and it aired on Lifetime on Mondays at 11 p.m., so they obviously didn't want anyone watching it anyway. However, despite being buried by the network, you can still watch every episode also on the Roku channel, including Dave's, which is called The Loser Club. Martin Short Show. Kevin was apparently a cast member on this talk show hosted by Martin Short. It didn't last long, and it has the same name as a sitcom also starring Martin Short, making it even harder to find. Dave was also in one episode. Suspense, a fake radio drama project that Dave was in one episode in, but I can't find for the life of me. Only a couple episodes of this thing are still up on YouTube, and his isn't one of them. Thrilling Adventure Hour, Beyond Belief. Another radio project still starring Dave, but also having Bruce in it. The website for these was taken down a while ago, and I can't find the audio files. Sad. Fully Committed, a play Mark appeared in, playing like 36 characters at the same time. I'd love to find footage of this because it sounds very impressive. Mark's UK charity video. Mark made a Christmas greeting video for the mental health charity Spark UK. Here's the clip.
Hello, I'm Mark McKinney, and here is my mental health tip for the day, or the week, or the month, or the year. Let's see. Sharing your feelings, that's a big one. People you feel safe with. When you're frustrated or angry or sad, and you know there's some people you can just say it to. You don't even have to tell them in detail. You can just say, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling frustrated, or whatever. And sometimes they don't even have to answer. Just saying it will be good. Now, another one is get alone for 3 minutes. Turn off this phone and get yourself alone and just sit and feel. And that's good. And one thing that I've always loved doing, where I sort things out, is a good long walk. It sounds so cliche, but really just thinking, not thinking in circles, trying to notice stuff. Oh, look at that. And then thinking a little more. But till you're warm and all warmed up. That works for me. Anyway, that's all I got. So the only thing I have to say to add to that is I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope, conjuring Glenn Sturgis from Superstore, I hope you have a heavenly day.
Cole's Funny or Die videos. There are 2 Buddy Cole Funny or Die videos, the first entitled Buddy Cole Adopts a Child, which no longer exists online despite the Internet Archive claiming to have it. The second being Buddy Cole starts his own film festival, which the Internet Archive doesn't even claim to have. Fawlty Towers Oxnard, an unaired American remake of the British series that Scott played the Major in. The only evidence this existed is an IMDb page and a lone Reddit comment of someone who worked on it. Papillon, a web series starring Kevin as an airplane pilot afraid of flying. All episodes are available on Vimeo. The Sensible Traveler Bobby Fargo, another web series, this time starring Dave as Sensible Traveler Bobby Fargo, foreshadowing. From what I know, no episodes are still available online, which is the case of many of these web series that the kids appeared in. Some others include Written by a Kid with Dave, But I'm Chris Jericho with Scott and Kevin, Girls Will Be Girls with Only Scott, The Best Laid Plans with Mark, International Ghost Investigators with Dave again, The Plateaus with Kevin again, and This Blows with Bruce, some of which still exist online and some of which don't. Web media is not a tricky thing to archive. Most people assume it will be where it was forever, and therefore the media is lost when whoever or whatever it's owned by decides they don't want it anymore and delete it. Make sure to back up whatever you like, or it may be gone forever, like some of these web series mentioned here. Scotland, an early digital media project made by Scott showing off a few of his characters interacting in the cyber world. Cyberworld 3D. Speaking of cyberworlds, Cyberworld 3D is a lost movie showcasing early fully CGI movies and shorts that ran for a short time in 2000. Dave appeared in this movie in a role I'm unsure of because, as said before, the movie's been lost to time. Only a trailer still exists. Jacking Hollywood. Scott's first starring role in a movie released back in 1997. It doesn't exist online, and the only DVD I could find of it cost $97. And that's a little out of my price range for this. If you want to buy the tape though, and you have a VCR like me, it only costs $44. Nebraska Comic Con. Dave and Kevin also performed Citizen Kane at this Comic Con last year. Here's the footage.
Oh, Citizen Kane.
No, it wasn't Citizen Kane. No, it was, I hate this. This is going to drive me crazy.
Well, who was in it?
Orson Welles was in it, and it was,
yes, this was Citizen Kane.
No, it wasn't Citizen Kane.
Well, who else was in it?
Oh, I don't know.
Was Joseph Cotton in it?
What else has he been in?
The Third Man, The Magnificent Ambersons.
Oh, yes, he was in it. Oh, I love Magnificent Ambersons. It's my favorite Wells movie.
Well, this was definitely Citizen Kane. You're talking about Citizen Kane.
No, it wasn't.
White Trash Wins Lotto, a rock opera based on Axl Rose's life performed in 2000 that Dave was in. The whole cast recording can be found online. Comic Relief. The kids are apparently at Comic Relief one year performing Reg and Bombed. Here's them talking about it.
Yeah.
Is this a sketch that we did at Comic Relief when we bombed?
We did bomb at Comic
We did this
Relief
at
with
Radio
it.
City Music Hall to crickets.
It's a quiet sketch.
We followed a 15-minute sketch on African starving.
Not so much a sketch as documentary film footage of people starving.
Yeah.
And dying.
And now the kids in the hall.
And 15 minutes of Billy Crystal doing shtick about his mic not working.
He has mic not working. So
While we were sitting on stage.
Was that not the same night when Bobcat cut his hair off on stage?
Yes,
That
it
Yeah.
was.
was amazing.
Yes, it was. That was amazing.
Kid and Play were there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because I remember we saw
No,
them,
Kid and
Santa
Play
Fe.
were in Memphis, weren't they, when we went down to do that showcase?
No,
No,
it was Comic Relief.
It's
Looks like a random YouTube video or failed pilot for a channel called Dad's Garage TV that Kevin was in. Maybe this was a less successful version of Funny or Die. There's not too much information about it out there. Pretty cool cartoon. Buddy was going to have his own cartoon in 2007 to be aired on the Logo channel, but plans unfortunately fell through, and all that's left is the concept art. Here it is. Danny Husk at the Emmys. A video of Danny Husk roaming the Emmy Awards of an unspecified year, as the video quality is so bad it looks like it's been microwaved. I'd like to take the rest of the time for this entry to show you what Scott turned up in to the 1993 Emmy Awards. Thomason Auto Group commercials. In 2002, Portland-based car dealership Thomason Auto Group recruited Kevin to star in multiple of their commercials, building up to the greatest auto dealer commercial of all time, which he wasn't in, but whatever.
Santo, a name synonymous with commercial directing genius. In the 80s, he brought America the lovable Mr. Whiskers, and in the 90s, the innovative yellow dye in the 5,000 Flushes campaign.
Yellow means clean! The romance of the bowl and everything he did, the motion that he created out of nothing, out of water and a flush, it was just pure magic.
But in 2000, the bottom dropped down. While on set, Santo suffered a career-altering nervous breakdown and walked away from the spotlight to try to find himself. Which he did in the annual Running with the Giraffes. Not quite as popular as Running with the Bulls, but for Santo, every bit as cathartic. Now, reinvigorated with a new outlook on life, the stage has been set for Santo to dazzle America once again as he tries to create for the Thompson Auto Group the greatest auto dealer commercial of all time. Will he succeed? Only time will tell.
Royal York Hotel commercial. The Fairmont Royal York Hotel, based in Toronto, recruited Scott to advertise their hotel, which he did while reprising his role as Queen Elizabeth again. Speaker's Corner. This one's pretty interesting. I didn't know about this before I started making this Iceberg video. This show began in 1990 outside of City TV studios to entice people to record news commentary for one of their news shows, but people started using the booth more like a photo booth for videos, and City TV decided to broadcast these random videos people made as well. Bruce made one of these for his 50 years in show business special for Much Music in 1995, and this will be its entry as well. Pet Shop. This is one of the first original programs broadcast by Animal Planet in the mid-90s, which Dave appeared on talking about his pet ferrets. Fun fact, this clip of Dave on this show is the only thing to still exist from the Pet Shop, as the rest of the show has been completely lost to time. Dynaman. This was a dubbed parody of the Japanese show Kakaku Sentai Dynaman that aired on Nickelodeon's special delivery program in the late 80s. Mark appeared as one of the gag dubbers for the series. Committed. Committed was a 2001 animated sitcom that aired on CTV based on the comic strip of the same name. Dave played the dog, Bob. Abe Lincoln and His Time Machine aired as part of a Saturday Night Live sketch Toonces the Driving Cat special. Dave appeared as John Wilkes Booth, with late actor Joe Flaherty playing Abraham Lincoln. A Fabulous Gay Wedding. This show was hosted by Scott and aired on the Global Network in Canada and Logo in the US. Only the first season is available on Amazon, but that's okay because that was the only one he hosted, as he was replaced by Elvira Kurt in the second season. Save Me. This is a song performed by Amy Mann, which seems to be completely unconnected to the rest of the shit I've already talked about. However, if you think that, you're wrong. This song was actually written about Dave, as discussed by him on the podcast Theft of the Dial. This song was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song for the movie Magnolia, so that's neat. Conan episode with Dave and Isabella Rossellini. In 1994, both Dave and Isabella fucking Rossellini, as discussed before, appeared on an episode of Late Night with Conan O'Brien, with Dave made up to look as much like her as possible. Sadly, no footage of this exists online, with only random interviews confirming that it did exist at some point. Uncle Saddam. Now for something very heavy. For context, Scott's boyfriend at the time was making a documentary comedy about Saddam Hussein. I'll let Wikipedia explain, as it can explain it better than I can. In 2000, Thompson was living with his boyfriend, French documentarian Joel Soler, in Hollywood. Soler had smuggled footage out of Iraq to make an E! News style, satirical political documentary comedy, Uncle Saddam, about the eccentricities in the home life of Saddam Hussein and his family, which bubbled behind Hussein's dictatorial facade. Thompson wrote the narration for the movie, which was read by actor Wallace Langham. Following the movie's release, Thompson and Soler's West Hollywood home was firebombed on November 1st, 2000. That was very heavy, but fun fact, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you really want to. It's on there. It's only an hour long. Yoplait Crush Cups commercial referencing the head crusher. Now for something completely different. This commercial, released in 2010, it features the Sprouse twins, Cole and Dylan, crushing random people's heads, much like the character of the Head Crusher, before returning to their Yoplait yogurt snacks, the Crush Cups. Were the Crush Cups themselves molded on the Head Crusher and his powers were both great and bad? Maybe. The commercial definitely was, though. Husk Hollow Planet on Amazon being credited to Carrot Top. Title is self-explanatory. Husk Hollow Planet on Amazon is credited to Carrot Top instead of Scott, because Carrot Top's real name is also Scott Thompson. This also happens on IMDb, which is rather frustrating when you're trying to put a big-ass list of credits together. The fact that Dave didn't play Abby's ex-husband on ER. Maura Tierney played the character of Abby Lockhart on ER. Now she also starred in News Radio with Dave, playing Lisa Miller, a news reporter and Dave's love interest. In the show ER, her character Abby is introduced as being divorced from her ex-husband named Richard. He is unseen for the first season she appears in, that being season 6, which started airing right after News Radio ended in 1999. Her ex-husband Richard, or Dick as I call him, finally appears in the first episode of the 7th season entitled Homecoming, which aired in 2000. However, in a severe lack of judgment, her ex-husband Dick is not played by Dave, which would have been incredibly funny and a great casting gag, as both News Radio and ER aired on NBC, so most people who watched one probably watched the other and would have gotten the joke that the former News Radio guy was playing her ex-husband, and everyone would have had a good laugh. No! Dick is played by a completely random actor who I didn't even look up the name for. Maura Tierney is now set to play Lieutenant on fellow NBC show Law & Order. Make it right, NBC. Hire Dave to play your husband now. Make up for the past. 7th season. The revival is canceled by Amazon, but who's to say someone won't pick up the Kids in the Hall show again for a 7th season? Maybe Hulu or HBO Max would make sense, as the first 3 seasons aired on HBO or Paramount Plus, which would make sense as the last 2 seasons aired on CBS or Crave, just to make me cry, or Tubi or Fubo or Netflix, or Peacock or YouTube TV or AMC Plus or Poob. Any of these seems likely to happen. Now it's time for me to record the outro. So thank you for watching all of this. I know it was very long and probably on a topic that you don't know anything about, but I'd like to thank you for watching it anyways. If you're a fan of the Kids in the Hall, hi. I am one too, obviously, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Or if you didn't, I just hope you liked it. So yeah, this is the only part of my video that's unscripted. So yeah, I didn't have very good delivery before, but now I have even worse, so that's not great. But yeah, I really love the Kids in the Hall, and most of the stuff that they've done, and I just wanted to make a video to show my love, I guess, because I go back to college in a couple days, and when I was at college, this was one of the shows that helped me get through it, because I had a really hard, tough year the first year around, and this one helped me through it, so I'm very grateful for them. I always will be. So I hope you liked my video about them. Yeah. I did try to make this as comprehensive as I could. I know I left some stuff out, but I wanted to make this like as good as I possibly could. So I hope that it was good enough for you, because I know it was a long thing to get through, so sorry about that. Hope you didn't give up watching towards the end, because I know it was long, but all my good stuff was at the end. Do you agree with me about the ER thing? Because I really think that he should have played Abby's ex-husband. I'm gonna be for real. I really do think that. But all my good stuff was at the end, I think. I'm sorry. Sorry I made you wait. But if you liked it, like the video, I guess, and subscribe to me, because I'm trying to make a bigger YouTube channel, I guess, because I don't post a lot. So, why not? Maybe I'll do more long videos. I like making them. My computer's not like me making them, though. My computer hates it when I make them, because Clipchamp also always craps out on me. I'm sure it'll do it before I get finished making this. So, not great, but thank you for watching, and love you all, and bye!
Come on, take the potato salad with you. Don't mention it.